This video is brought to you by the OBSBOT Tiny 2. Hey everyone, I'm Danny and welcome to Wizardry Workshop. In today's video, we are going to be making Ogden's Old Firewhisky. I thought this would be a really cool one to do if you are of age. And if you're not of age, you don't have to put whiskey in it. It could be anything. I suggest using apple juice, and maybe you could spice it up with some cinnamon or something. I don't know, something to make it a little bit spicy. Cinnamon and apple juice or cider sounds really good to me. I don't really have a recipe. It's just a thought that I had, but that would work really well, and it's about the right color. But before we get into the video, let's take a look at our sponsor, the OBSBOT Tiny 2. This isn't just any webcam, it is a game changer. First off, the OBSBOT Tiny 2 stands out with its AI-powered pan-tilt zoom capabilities, that's PTZ. This means it can automatically track your movements, keeping you centered and in focus during your video calls or live streams. So it will track as I move. And right now it's just tracking my face. The Tiny 2 also offers gesture control. You can start or stop video recording and even zoom in and out with simple hand gestures, which is perfect for when you're in the middle of a presentation or gaming session. So we can zoom with gesture controls, which I think is really cool. If you do this, it will zoom in, and then if you do it again, it will zoom back out. And then you can also do two and zoom manually. The OBSBOT Tiny 2 delivers crisp, clear 1080p and up to 4K resolution. Plus, with HDR and auto exposure, it intelligently adjusts to different lighting conditions. Whether you're in a dimly lit room or one with a bright light, the Tiny 2 has you covered. So this is pretty much low light. I've got one light on right here. I'll turn that one off in a second, but this is what it looks like in low light, and I think it looks pretty good. Let's see if the hand gestures still work. Yep, and it's still able to track me and know where my head is, so that's really cool. I mean, really good quality. On top of that, there are plenty of video filters to help you improve your appearance and the overall color and feel of your video. You can retouch. It's off right now, but if I do native, so it looks like that. You can see the difference between native and not. Classic. Whoa. Looks like I'm wearing lipstick almost. I think the first two might be for anyone who wants to wear lipstick, I guess, because yeah, if you do this, you can see it looks like I'm wearing lipstick right now. So I'm gonna do men, and there are options in here. We've got body slim, so let's see what happens when we turn that up. Okay, it makes my head shrink. Leggy, probably has to have my legs in the picture to do something. And then we have waist. My waist isn't in the frame, but you can do a bunch of stuff. Then we have some filters. Just, it looks like standard photo filters, crystal, film, sheer, pure, black and white, and soda. And then we have some voice control. High Tiny is what will kind of like have it start listening for your voice controls. You can tell it to sleep, which I'm not going to do right now, but it will go to sleep. Zoom out further. Zoom in closer. There's just a whole bunch of different features in here. I'm going to link to their website. You can check out all the different features in detail there. The OBSBOT Tiny 2 is a powerhouse of features designed for professionals, streamers, and anyone who wants a better webcam. It's definitely the best webcam I've personally used, with gesture controls and AI tracking and awesome video quality. If you want to help support my channel and you don't really want to do Patreon or join the memberships or anything like that, this would be a perfect way to do it. I've got a discount code and a link in the description box and a pinned comment below. Use that discount code, get yourself some money off, and help me at the same time. One of the main things that I like about it is we have hand tracking. So as you see, it will track my hand, which is really cool because I do a lot of DIY projects. And while I'm doing those DIY projects, it would be nice to have a camera tracking my hands as I go. So we're gonna put the OBSBOT to the test when it comes to hand tracking, and in this DIY, I'm gonna be using the OBSBOT as a secondary camera tracking my hands while I put this project together. I will have a little OBSBOT icon in the bottom of the screen so that you can tell which camera is which as I'm going. Check out the description box for a list of all the supplies you're going to need to make this DIY, and let's get started. So I'm going to do mine in these Fireball whiskey bottles. But the first thing we want to do is remove these labels. So I've got a bowl with some soapy water and a sponge right here. And then I also have some of this just hand sanitizer. So the alcohol in the hand sanitizer is really going to help take the stickiness off there. You could use Goo Gone. I just don't have any, and this is going to work fine too. If you don't want to go through all the trouble of doing this, you could just slap the label on top of this one and be done with it. You can. This could be a really easy DIY project. I'm going to go a little bit further though, and I'm going to do it, I guess, quote unquote, the right way. And we're going to remove these labels. I'm going to remove the front label and the back label. All right, now what you want to do once you've got all of these labels off and you're just left with that sticky residue is we're going to grab the hand sanitizer and put a little hand sanitizer on the bottle itself. And we're just going to kind of spread it on the area where the stickiness is. And the alcohol content in the hand sanitizer is going to help get rid of some of that stickiness. It won't get all of it, but it'll make it a lot less sticky. Because now it's going in the soapy water. We're just going to use that sponge to clean that bottle off. I had originally tried this with hot glue and I just wasn't happy with the result. It looked too fake and plasticky and glue was too thick. It looked awkward. So I'm going to go ahead and use traditional sealing wax. So we're just going to start by lighting our sealing wax. We're going to let it start dripping. As this heats up, you'll notice that I have my sealing stamp on top of, whoa, I had a little accident here with my wax, but ignore the mess. I'm going to be holding it with pliers now because that almost dripped down onto my finger. When you take your sealing stamp and put it on something cold like a cold pack, it's going to cool the metal, and then that gets it ready to press onto the hot wax. It's going to help it cool the wax faster and the stamp come away from the wax easier. If you do this a lot, you could even keep your wax seals in the freezer and then pull them out when you want to use them. You could even still put them on a cold pack, but keeping them in the freezer will make sure that they're ready to go as soon as you need them. Now let's try this again without burning myself. We're just going to start going, and I'm going to just keep adding wax to this until the whole thing is covered. And my goal here is to get it to start dripping down the edge. So once we have it dripping, add a little bit more to the middle, make sure that's nice and hot and melted, and then we can take our cold stamp and place it right on top. And that honestly just falls right off of the wax. But then we are left with this, and I really wanted drippiness around there. I may have overdone it a little bit, but I think it still looks cool. So now that is the bottle with the wax seal. And now it's time for the labels. These are printed at 8.5 by 11, so that's letter size, and I printed mine on sticker paper. You could print them on just regular paper and glue the label on if you want to, but I thought sticker paper is a little bit easier, so that's what I went with. If you're not going to use gold foil, there is a file that you can use that doesn't include the gold foil stuff. But if you are going to use gold foil, you're going to want to print the main artwork on this paper using an inkjet printer. It has to be an inkjet printer. And then there's another file that looks like this. This is the gold foil part, so it only has the gold foil stuff. What you're going to want to do is take what you just printed, feed it into a laser printer, and print this part on top of this part. So then you have a laser print on top of an inkjet print. And that will give you this. You can kind of see where the laser print is. It's a little bit more shiny and darker than the inkjet. It just has better contrast. I'll go ahead and just cut out the labels themselves. So this is a Mink gold foiling or foiling machine. Doesn't have to be gold foil. If you don't have one, I really recommend it. They are really great. So you'll want to take what you've just printed and place it inside of the protective plastic folder that comes with these or sold separately. And then we'll take heat activated gold foil and put it right on top of the labels. Close that folder up. And then this just simply runs through the machine. And when it comes out the other side, So when it's all done, we've got our gold foil on there, which looks really cool. I did design this based off of a Mina Lima design. It's basically a replica of one of their designs for Firewhisky, but it didn't say Ogden's Old. It was a different brand. So I just changed it to Ogden's Old. I recreated the whole label from scratch, but I changed it to Ogden's Old instead. And then I also put the 33% 66 proof at the bottom because that is the same content as what I'm using here. I accidentally did print it on the file that has the bleed around it in case you're using a Cricut to cut yours out. But there is a file that doesn't have this bleed, so it'll be easier to trim it down for you. But they did come out a little big, so I had to trim mine down to fit the bottle. And now I'll take the backing off of the sticker paper, center it as best as possible, and stick it down onto the bottle. I like mine to have a little more age, so I've got this Distress Ink Vintage Photo. And the only thing I want to do is age a little bit around the edge of the label so it kind of fades in there. Kind of gives it a bit of a more natural look than without. A subtle touch, but I think it just makes it look a little bit more natural around the edges. It was a little too white around the edges where you could see that white paper underneath. If you're going to an over 21 party, you know, or hosting one, you could make a bunch of Ogden's Firewhisky and kind of have these bottles sitting out for your partygoers. And that is our Ogden's Old Firewhisky. So here's the label with the gold foiling. I am really happy with how this turned out. It looks pretty cool. I like the wax on the top and the seal. Let me know what you guys thought about Ogden's Old Firewhisky, and also let me know what you thought about the OBSBOT Tiny 2. I think it's awesome. Like, I was really happy with it tracking my hands and being my secondary camera, so I'm definitely gonna be using it on a daily basis as I record my videos. If you made it all the way to the end of the video with me, you're a wizard, Harry. Give it a thumbs up down below if you did like it, and subscribe if you're not subscribed for more Harry Potter DIYs and unboxings and other things that I enjoy. Hit that bell notification icon as well, because that'll help you stay up to date and not miss any videos as I upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video.